Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good evening to all of you. I'm sure all of you are doing great today. I'm glad to be here, and I'm find this as an honor and a privilege to be sharing my learnings in this area of positive thinking. I would request all of you to be quite interactive. There's a Q&A box down there. We will keep this interactive. I don't want to keep it like a regular live, what do you call a monologue or a lecture session. I'll be asking questions. I would really want you to be participating, given the fact that this is a webinar and I can't see any one of you technically, but you guys can see me. I just want to make sure that this is as interesting as possible, and at the end of next 45 minutes or so, I would want to leave you with something that you can use for the rest of your life. That said, I think the today's topic, as Vignesh just now introduced, is how to build positive thinking. That's what I'm going to spend time on. Before I start off, I think Vignesh gave an introduction, but I just want to quickly share a little about myself. I'm Raveendran. You can call me Ravi, and it's easier way to. I live in Bangalore in India. A little bit of what Vignesh told, I may probably repeat it, but please bear with me so that I can give you a well-rounded picture of who I am. I'm a certified international master trainer and an executive coach. I worked in the corporate world for 3 decades, held several positions and experience in the area of customer service, service transformation, sales and business operations, and project program management. In these 30 long plus years, I have transitioned across 3 different industries. That's between healthcare, BPO and ITES, and also IT industry. The 10 years I was in the IT industry, I was with Dell Computers, and I held several positions in Dell. I taught and coached and trained several people along the way. I had the good fortune of training people in different technological aspects. It's predominantly in the organization-specific, domain-specific training and coaching that I did. And as Vignesh has mentioned already, I had the good opportunity of 700. That's what I had on the logs, but I must have touched several other lives, which I'm proud of. I was an invited speaker at national and international conferences and also keynote speaker for some of my leaders and professionals whom I worked with. I co-founded Speedy Recovery along with my wife. She is a healthcare services professional. She has worked in the healthcare industry for close to 35 years, while I transitioned from one industry to another as more as a passion. We recently started VersionTwo. I would not call it as a company, but it is more like an initiative to help people transform into a better version for themselves. And that's the reason why we call it VersionTwo. In a sense, it's the VersionTwo for ourselves, having been entrepreneurs and working professionals for about 30 plus years. We thought we will probably continue our journey as somebody who can help people through coaching, training, and public speaking, and continue that good work with all of you and with all of our people who might be in touch. I was born in a modest South Indian family down south. I'm sure most of you would know that place called as Tirupati. I was born and brought up there. As I said, I'm married to Shaila, who is a professional entrepreneur. We are blessed with 2 daughters, Divya and Deepthi. Divya is the elder one. She's a fashion designer. Deepthi is a lawyer, but she's not yet a lawyer. She's pursuing a law program and she will be a lawyer. We have a pet, Labrador, Bubble, and we've been living happily ever after. So that's a little brief about myself. Ladies and gentlemen, I really look forward to talking to and sharing, and I'm sure a little bit about learning that you can take away from this program. So let's jump right into the topic of today, that is, what is positive thinking? I would request all of you, those of you who are logged in and who have the ability to share, type in your thoughts in the Q&A box right there and tell me what or your thoughts, what does it mean to you when we talk about positive thinking. It'll be nice if some of you can put in some comments so that there is some kind of an interactivity, and it's also kind of motivating for me to know that the class is engaged. Go ahead, type in. I'll give you a couple of minutes to collect your thoughts and make some share some thoughts of yourselves. You can use the Q&A box, which I'm looking at right now. I would love to hear some of you sharing what you think is positive thinking. Feel free, go ahead. No, there's no right and wrong answer. It's just a viewpoint, right? Each one of us have our own definition of positive thinking and positive mindset. We keep hearing this day in and day out. We get a lot of shares in social media. So I just want to listen to you. If anyone has got any thoughts around positive thinking, please do share in the Q&A box. I'd love to see what you have as an understanding to begin with. Well, I will leave that with you in a moment. I'll probably check back onto that box because I need to toggle between the presentation and also the Teams window. Please feel free to put in your thoughts as we go along, and I would like to listen to your thoughts. So to begin with, I would say that positive thinking is an attitude, right? It's about having an attitude. It's about having particular demonstrating or exhibiting a particular way of behavior that you're positive. You understand what positivity is, and you must have heard about people talking about attitude being is a person with positive attitude, is a negative attitude person. People look at what you do and how you behave, and then that's kind of it's more of an attitude than anything else, right? And to begin with. The most important thing when you are talking about positive thinking or a positive mindset is that your understanding and acknowledgement that nothing in this world is perfect, right? We all hear about that. We read about positive thinking. We know that if people tell us right from our childhood, in our college, school, in your life at work and home, that nothing is perfect. But when we wake up in the morning, we always start our day with a particular set of expectations, right? We want something to be in a particular way, and you want something to pan out in such a particular way. You want people to behave in a particular way. But we expect some kind of a perfection. You have some definition for yourself, and you are expecting something to happen. And some of the philosophers and thought leaders have said that that expectation is the cause of all sorrow, right? So the moment we realize, the earlier we realize, and you're conscious of the fact that in real time and in reality, when you know that nothing is perfect, that's when you realize, hey, now this is what I need to deal with, right? And the moment you stop seeking perfection and you stop seeking excellence, or start seeking some kind of positive attitude, that's when you start becoming a positive person. Now, the next most important thing is that life is not a straight line, and we heard this again and again and again several times. Those of you who have a little bit of science background, you know life is a sine curve, right? It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, and everything that goes up has to come down one day, and everything that goes down will probably rise one other day. Now, when you and there is a very common analogy that people keep sharing with, and I'd love to bring that up here. Even when you go and get an ECG done, people say that if the ECG is a straight line, you're pretty much done, right? It's not a great situation to be in. So life is about ups and downs, and acknowledging and again recognizing and internalizing that reality. And when you are on a high, you don't lose your balance, consciousness, and when you're in a low, you don't bolt out and then fall apart, right? You kind of maintain your poise, you maintain your composure, and realize these two facts constantly, that things are not perfect, and what is today is not permanent. It's going to change, and then you acknowledge, and then you build a good thought process around it, a good behavior around it, and that's how your positive thinking sets in, right? People with positive mindset or positive thinking is people who have got abundant energy, right? So they're enthusiastic, they're loud, not exactly screaming or anything, but you can feel their presence. They're infectious in their positivity, And there's abundant energy that they demonstrate and show to all of us at all times. Uh, that's one indication that you are a positive thinker, or you're a person with a positive attitude, and you're living a positive life. The the other thing is positive thinking helps you to succeed in different facets of life, whether it is at home, whether it's at work, whether it is in society, or whether you are dealing with challenges, or whether you are not having uh, enough money. Success is defined in different ways, right? Success is something that, that comes easily for people who are positively disposed, right? They attract a lot of good things. They have money, they have prosperity, they have family, they have great infrastructure, and these are not. I'm not talking about billionaires and millionaires. I'm talking about the normal, average human being who has a positive mindset, attracts good things in life, and when things are not so good, they have the ability to understand that things can go wrong, and when they go wrong, they're not going to be wrong all the time. They're going to get better. And that's the kind of attitude that you need to constantly, what do you call, imbibe and live through, right? And it's a practice, right? And the next thing is, when you have all these things in mind, you come to a state of positive state of mind, and right, and you maintain there. And there are days, we are humans at the end of the day. There are days which are not so great, and you're a little low in your spirits. There are certain things that don't happen the way you want them to happen, despite all the understanding around this positivity and so forth. You may not be able to hold that state of mind. And in a little while from now, in the next 20-30 minutes, I will share some tips and some of the methods in which you can keep yourself in that positive state of mind at all times and keep that composure. At the end of it all, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us to make a choice. It's also important to understand the fact here that a positive thinking or a positive mindset is not something that you do, right? It is something that you have. You have positive mindset, you have positive thinking, and you build it. It's a state of mind. It's not something that you're doing consciously, but it happens subconsciously, it happens unconsciously. It's your nature. Positive thinking is something that becomes your nature, but you have to choose to be positive. Nobody will tell you every single morning, every single moment to say, hey, stay positive. Yeah, we get a whole lot of stuff every day in the morning when you open up your WhatsApp and social media. There's a ton of inspirational, motivational, spiritual messages, but then the choice is yours, right? And you want to be a positive thinker, be optimistic about life, and look at things in a forward thinking mindset, or you can just slump over and sit in a corner and live your life the way it's taking you, without any purpose or without any excitement and without any reason to be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to leave you with this little picture here, which speaks a ton about what we are talking just now. It's about positive thinking. It is about positivity. It's about realizing the possibilities in life with whatever you have, right? That's why I was just now mentioning that you don't have to be a millionaire or a millionaire to be having positive thinking. Every single common person out there and every average human being, if they can cultivate positive thinking, like the topic title says, pandemic or no pandemic, life will be beautiful. Yeah, in times like this, these kind of difficult times, they kind of get amplified. They become exaggerated in your life, and they become like very, very obvious. The fear of ill health, the fear of the family, someone in the family falling ill, the fear of job loss, fear of pay cuts, fear of getting benched, fear of any other natural calamity that's coming along. A lot of stuff happens, but being able to keep that composure and being able to get up every single day morning and tell yourself that today is going to be a great day. And then if you can practice it and make that choice every single day, that is the beginning of a positive life, a positive thinking, a positive mindset. So this is a little bit of understanding we had, and Thank you, Murugavel. I think you put a nice feedback out there. Thank you very much. It's an emotional and mental attitude that focuses on the good. Very good choice of word there. In fact, expecting results that will benefit us. That's another viewpoint. If you have got a positive mindset, you start expecting positive results, right? And then automatically you are so reinforced. Those affirmations, as they call it, are so hardwired in your system that nothing negative affects you. And everything that's happening in front of you kind of push away all the negativity, and then you keep looking at what is good in this 2 things or 3 things or 10 things that are in front of me, or what are these 3 things that have happened well. We will talk a little bit about this, and thanks Murugavel again for sharing your thoughts. So now the big question is, well, Ravi, you told us about what positive thinking is, how to identify if you're a positive person or not, and what are the traits and what are the choices and so forth. But the most important thing is, how do we stay positive? Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, it's not easy, but it is not impossible. I never say that it's easy to remain positive 24/7, right? But it's not impossible. But there are certain things that we can do. There are certain things that we can practice that puts us into that positive state of mind. And what is that? And that's what we'll probably try and spend over the next 30 minutes or so discussing about how to stay positive. Very simply put, the most important thing is you need, as I told earlier, it's a state of mind. And the way you manage and control and keep that mind in transcendental state is through meditation. This is one of the most powerful and proven methods for positivity. The world over, and the monks, the philosophers, the priests and the gurus and everybody who preached for thousands of years is the concept of meditation. Meditate, and then it's not a very difficult exercise. You don't have to stress out, buy a yoga mat and then go and sit in a corner under the tree and grow the beard. No, nothing at all. Every day in the morning, wake up. In the morning, looks like there's kind of a network quality issues. I hope you're able to hear me. Just in case you don't hear me, please put in the chat box in case you're not able to hear me well. All right, so meditation is one of the key factors to build positivity. Just close your eyes every day in the morning for 5 to 10 minutes. It's your choice. If you have more time, you can keep extending it to about 20 to 30 minutes every day. At 5 to 10 minutes, do nothing, make no efforts, focus on your breathing. Just listen to your breathing and stay in that state for about 5 to 10 minutes. You'll hear voices. There's a guy honking. There is a bird tweeting, and then there is rain. You can hear the sounds, all kinds of sounds. Be in that quiet state for 5 to 10 minutes every single morning, and do this regularly, as regularly as you brush your teeth every single morning. Right? It's like a daily routine. Second is exercise. This exercise can be again in a format and a form that is most convenient to you. You can do a dance, few dance steps in the morning. If that's what you like. You can just go and get onto the cross trainer. You can go for a brisk walk for 15 minutes. You can go to the gym, or you can just climb the staircase in your apartment or in your house 5 to 10 times every day in the morning. Climb up, climb down, that's all. Make sure that you spend about 15 minutes every single day in a brisk activity at the beginning of the day. And if that is not possible, if your work timings don't permit, if your family situation doesn't permit, do it in the evening. Find some time. If nothing is possible during the lunch hour, finish your lunch 20 minutes, next 10 minutes, walk, exercise. This is a sure shot recipe to pump up the fresh hormones in your body, and you will start feeling, even in the most difficult situation, a little bit of optimism comes in place. Before you start your day, before you end your day, at any point in time, the most important thing is, has your body got its enough rest? Sleeping well is absolutely important. Many people tell many different number of hours. Some people say you've got to sleep for 10, if you got to sleep for 8. Some people say that you've got to sleep for 6 hours. Choose the number of hours where you're well rested. There are some people who will sleep for 4 hours. When they wake up, they're fresh as a flower, right? Sleep well, sleep with a number of hours that actually makes you feel rested, right? Oversleeping can have harmful body, physical effects and mental effects, and undersleeping also will have the same effect. So sleep well. Um, Drink plenty of water. Drinking plain water is painful for most of us, so like it's shown on the visual there. Add a dash of lime, add a little mint, put it in the bottle, take it in the car or take it to your office, leave it on the table. At least have a liter of water before lunchtime, a liter after lunch, a liter before late evening. Don't drink too much of water after 7 or 8 in the evening because you will not have a good sleep. You ought to wake up a couple of times to use the washrooms and so forth. The next most important thing is eating healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a ton of stuff. Genetically, human bodies are designed to eat a particular type of food in a particular type of region in this world. We in India are genetically, for example, are built to eat wheat, rice, and pulses and so forth. Now we have a variety of food available, right? We've got the noodles, we've got the pizzas, we've got the pastas, we've got the macaronis. Everything is available in this country. Well, you can't say no to everything in your life. You've got to enjoy it, and that's the whole purpose of living here. You eat everything in moderation, but make sure that your food has got at least one green colored vegetable or fruit or anything of that. And also make sure that your food is multicolored, red, green, yellow, with peppers and capsicum and stuff like that. If you're not a meat eater, if you're a meat eater, you can mix it up. Eat everything in moderation. Eat healthy food, freshly cooked food, freshly available produce, no canned stuff, none of that. The reason is this has got a direct impact on your hormones and your chemicals in the body and the way your brain is wired. Okay, eating healthy and drinking good water is important. After you have done all these things through the day, one of the most important things, and it is proven scientifically beyond doubt with extensive research, is maintaining a gratitude journal. Keep a book, small notebook, 100 pages notebook that you can buy in the bazaar, in the stationery shop for like about 50 bucks or so. Every day, just write the date at the corner of the book. Write 3 things that you're grateful for that day. It could be as simple as I could complete my work which I have decided to complete by 11 o'clock. You're grateful for somebody who has come and given you a compliment in the cafeteria if you're at work. You are grateful for having a 20-minute long conversation with your grandparents, with your parents. Any simple thing. You have to sit down at the end of the day after your meal in the night before you go to bed. Make it a point to write 3 things. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a sincere urge. I know you must have got tons and tons of information that tells you how to stay positive, definitions of positivity. These are practical tips, which I was not using earlier. After I got married, my wife had given me these tips, and we practice it as a family, and it has an immense, profound impact on us. Both of us, we maintain gratitude journals. We write 3 things that we're grateful for. As simple as yesterday, my wife made papads just before I had my lunch. And then I was grateful for that because it just made my food that much more delicious, right? Be grateful for something that you really expected the previous day and the next day it happens. Make note of it. Do this continuously, and you must have heard this again many times, and I'm repeating it. Do this continuously, writing 3 things a day for 21 days. And the magic will happen. Trust me, 3 things that you're grateful for at the end of the day for 21 days and see how things change for you in life. There is, it's kind of, what do you call, self generative process. It's a thing that actually keeps rejuvenating your body and mind constantly. And when you sleep with that kind of a gratitude in your mind, with that kind of grace and peace in your mind, that sleep well, which I told you up there, that will you'll automatically fall asleep quietly. Everything that has happened through the day just vanishes, because what you're sleeping with at the end of the day is three things that are grateful for, three things that are done well, and you're really, really happy about them. Rest everything wipes out. Next day is going to be phenomenally great for you, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, I did it. I'm not prescribing it because I've not done it today. You've seen me. We have been successful professionals, raised a beautiful family. We have a pet, a lovely garden. We are not billionaires or millionaires, but we are prosperous and happy set of people who attract goodness in our life. And it's not that I did right from my days back when I was growing up in Tirupati. This is something that I was told, I was recommended, and we practiced it. And my wife is my biggest coach, and she keeps telling me a lot of good stuff. She reads a lot, and this is what I shared with you today. There are a few other things that you can do with an external world, right? What we just now said is for your own personal things, a recipe for your personal daily practice. Even if you can practice 2 out of 3 out of those things that I just now told, you are in a great state of mind. I'm not telling you that all of you who are sitting on this meeting or like completely down and out. Some of you will already be having positivity, and some of you want to know what else can I do to be positive in those adverse times, in those times where things are not going as per my expectations. So you are here in this session. So there is a little bit of stuff that you can do with an external world, right? That is smile. And it is so difficult for us in some of the countries and some of the cultures. Smiling naturally with strangers is just done. It's practiced and it's taught right from the very small infancy. People learn from their childhood. Smile. And when you smile, ladies and gentlemen, look at me in this camera and you'll know. You smile with a little bit of empathy, right? When you smile and there is a little bit of connect relating to that person's situation, that smile is beautiful, right? It's wonderful. It makes phenomenal impact on the other person, and it makes phenomenal impact for yourself. You start looking at everything that comes into your vision with a completely open heart. Smile every day. Smile at people when you walk into your office. Smile at somebody in the parking area. Smile at somebody outside of your portico in your office. Smile at the security guard. Smile at the receptionist. Give a small smile and say hello, good morning. You walk in with a grumpy face, that's a choice that you make, right? We already discussed about that. Now, if you want to be staying positive and you want to begin your day, begin your life, begin somebody's life, smile and empathize. When somebody says something, listen to them, not to respond, but to listen. And listen with a little smile on the face. It works wonders. Avoid negative people, negative situations. This will happen all the time. You can't avoid it. We are not in a perfect world, as we decided already, as discussed already. There will be people who will gossip. There will be people who will tell negative things. Very quietly get up, pick up your coffee, excuse yourself. If you have that ability to stay positive, and if you have understood the elements of positivity, you automatically will quickly sense when something is going wrong and there's some negativity happening, and you will get up and quietly move away, or excuse yourself with something that you want to genuinely do. And then when you do that once or twice or thrice, if the person whom you're related to is very close, and then if that person recognizes your behavior, they'll start reducing that negative self-talk and negative sharing or negative gossips and so forth. You're not only impacting yourself in a positive way, but you're also impacting others' lives. That is an important element of positive thinking, and that's an important element of positivity. Positivity is not something that you're going to have, but that's something that's going to give, right? You're going to spread positivity if you're respectful. So, and that's a good thing happening both ways, right? Show compassion. It really doesn't cost you anything. We used to have an exercise back, not exactly an exercise, but an activity back in my corporate world, where we as the leaders were supposed to write and share with our teams A random act of kindness. It's demonstrating compassion, right? You're driving in your car to work and you see somebody trying to cross the road. Nobody is stopping. You pull over, stop the traffic, help the person to cross across the road. Make sure that that person is safe. You sit in the car and drive back home. Just a random act of kindness. You see a small dog standing next to you when you get off your car to go for buy your provisions or your vegetables or fruits. You go buy a small pack of biscuits, feed the dog, and walk away. Show compassion to people, to animals, to birds, to everything that exists around you. You see a small little plant which is kind of wilted or something in your office garden, home garden, or any of your places where you go to, pour a little bit of water that's there in your bottle into the plant. That's showing compassion. When you show compassion, again, this is all about hormones. It's all about the system of chemicals that come into play, and there's a positive feeling. That's a feeling of goodness, and that's how you maintain that sanity and then the ability to stay positive. Correct? Relax and free alive. Yeah, no matter how much you try, because of the traffic, which are the pressures of providing for the family, pressures for doing delivery at work, we all have that. They're naturals, and we just discussed that we're going to accept it the way they are. Things are going to be that way. But in all that, as I told, that if you can take a deep breath, you're going in for a meeting. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I did this many times, and I continue to do this even now. Just before I came for this presentation, my wife had given me a glass of water, and then I sat, shut myself off, and took 4-5 deep breaths, because I'm going to be talking about some of those experiences that I had, and they have to come in a very relaxed way. And it cannot be what do you call some kind of structure, like 6 paragraphs of information thrown on the slide and I keep reading them out. It's not interesting at all, right? So you have to relax before any event, any activity, and you have got to breathe and just feel alive. Experience the sun, experience the sound. There's a saying called as listen to the silence, right? Sit somewhere in a corner, and if you become quiet, shut everything off, you can actually listen to your silence. And that's when your body and your senses relaxes completely. That relaxation is the foundation of beginning of a positive attitude, positive thinking, positive outlook. When you wake up and you're all set. I talked about gratitude journal, but you've got to practice gratitude as well, right? That's you demonstrate your gratitude. You say thank you, you say you're welcome, and you say please. There are some beautiful words that you can use. One thing is, people would have made you feel grateful, and you can make people also feel grateful for what you do to them. And then that can be spontaneous, it can be random, and make sure that you are, however simple and small that person is. I have my younger daughter who has got this thing that she practices every single time she goes to a restaurant or she goes to a mall, to anywhere. If there is a security guard, if there is a bearer, or if there's somebody who helps her with anything, or at least gives her a direction to go in the right side, she gets a car window down and says, hey, thank you. Makes phenomenal impact, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen people who are moved with this, very normal people in your daily life, whom we don't just acknowledge. We just take things for granted. We just think that it's our entitlement. If they're doing it for a living, or they're doing it because they're supposed to be doing it. These kind of entitled feelings will not make you any better person in terms of a good human being, right? So practicing gratitude is important. Thanking people and expressing your gratitude for what are the little things that come your way. How big, how small is not important. It's something that is positive to you, something that benefits you, something that makes you happy. Make sure that you demonstrate gratitude. At the end of the day, reflect, sit back, think, hey, what have I done since morning? And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, it's going to be quite an eye-opener when you sit back and reflect. We never get this time, right? We are always in the hustle bustle of our life. Sit back, reflect and think, what have I done since morning? What are the 3 things I should not have said? Was there a requirement for me to say this? Should I be saying it? Should I have said this now or at that point in time? Or should I just have left it? Now reflect on those small little instances that go through your day. There are 2 things that will happen. Like I told you earlier, you will find things that you're grateful for that you can document in the gratitude journal, and you can express gratitude to those people. Second thing is you'll realize that, hey, these are the 3 things I should not have done. This is a very negative way of dealing with that situation. This is a very pessimistic way of talking. This is what I have not made that. I don't think I made that person feel very good. Right? Reflection is a kind of introspection. You're looking within. 90% of the times or 95% of the times we don't do it. We do it only when there is something that has really shaken us. But ladies and gentlemen, trust me, some of the words which we inadvertently say in our sentences or in our conversations affect people phenomenally and significantly. So it's important for you to reflect at the end of the day if there is something that has gone wrong, something that we should not have said or not have done, which could have probably made them or made someone feel not so good. Like there are many times that we are told that more than what you tell or what you say to a person, how you make the person feel leaves a lot more deeper impact, positive or negative, right? If you are going to keep telling people positive things, people will remember you for the way you made them feel good. They will pretty much forget all the words that you said, but that experience sticks. Or I had this habit once upon a time, like I'm still working on it. I can swear at people when I'm driving and somebody cuts me off or when somebody honks and stuff like that. Now I have worked on it and I started thinking about this one little thing of, I used to come back and reflect at home. My wife and children used to say, hey, you know what, you've done this. This is not a great thing that you should have done. Gives me an opportunity to sit and reflect, right? The moment I reflect, the reality sets in, because in that emotional state, that does not come to you because you said what you said, you did what you did. But you come back and sit at home in the evening and reflect a little, things will work wonders. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up a next important thing. And if there are any comments, I'll probably pause for a minute. If yeah, where the positive thinking leads to feelings of failure, depression, if things not happen our way. Yeah, I will answer these questions in a moment. Things will get better if they are going south. Yeah, positive thinking surrounds the hope that things will get better if things are going south. Absolutely. Whoever has mentioned that anonymous participant has shared the beautiful thought. Positive thinking surrounds the hope that things will get better if they're not going very well for you, right? It's a very profound statement and it's so true. Murugavela, I'll answer your question in a moment, but otherwise I will like to spend a little time on why do we need to be positive, having a positive thought process? Why should we be having a positive outlook? Why should we have a positive mindset? We just now learned how, but why? The moment there is some outcome which is beneficial, that is a motivating factor, right? Otherwise, why should I do it if there is nothing that's happening? Some people just do it for the sake of doing it because it's a good thing to do, right? Going for a wellness program is a good thing and right thing to do, and well, it saves you a lot of money in health insurance and health costs and sickness costs and all the things. That's fine, but just people just do it because it's a good thing to do. But if you can understand the why of it and the how of it, what automatically sets in? What should I do? Because there's the benefit, and this is how it is done, right? So I'll just spare a few benefits of positive thinking. You live. I'm not emphasizing on the fact that you live a long life. I'm emphasizing the fact that however long you live a happy life. There is this place called as Okinawa in Japan. Some of you will know there is a concept called as Ikigai that is there, that the practice. People live for about 100 years on an average in that place. and they're productive till the last time, and they're happy, they're contented, they're healthy mentally, physically, right? So it gives you a sound mental health, and it is also provides you a good physical health. Positivity provides a lot of nourishment to your body and soul, to your body and mind. Positivity is for good health. It's not for somebody else. As I said, that you have to have it. You don't do it. You have it for yourself, and you practice it for yourself, because it gives you an overall human quality of life, right? That you up it the moment you have a positive state frame of mind. Builds confidence. This is kind of it's a given thing, right? Excuse me. Confident people are more successful primarily because they're not afraid of any consequences. They're not pessimistic. They don't hold back. They think that whatever the step that they're taking will give a good outcome, right? And when you're in a very positive frame of mind, and when you're looking at things in a good perspective, your confidence automatically sets in. And that's important, right? In any sphere of life, whether you want to be a good child, you want to be a good father, you want to be a good husband, you want to be a good mom, dad, colleague, leader, manager, whatever. You have to be a confident individual, and that confidence stems out of the fact that you are thinking about everything in a positive way. This is the most important benefit in life, relationships. Your relationship can be abstract, it can be inanimate, it can be human, it can be to any living creature in this universe. To every single entity in this universe, we have a relationship. We don't exist without a relationship. Relationships are important. People who have got negative mindset, pessimists, sulking, grumpy, their relationships are always down going south. I can guarantee that, and you have seen this, you've experienced it. But when we start experiencing our relationships not going very well, we always think that there is a problem outside, right? Another person, another place, it's in that environment. It's because of that. It's never the case. Whatever is your environment and your circumstances, how you relate to it and how do you adjust yourself with conscious thought that everything should be good, should happen good, and should do well for myself and for everybody else, and that kind of an attitude and a mental framework will help you work out great relationships. And things that don't go very well in a relationship, they fall into place the moment you start recognizing that there is a problem. But you will never recognize if you're in a negative frame of mind. Unfortunately, that is not an environment to fix relationships. You can't have a negative mindset, pessimistic outside, very reserved and very closed mind thinking, staying in a state of denial and expect the relationship to fix on its own. No, there is a lot of work that goes in. Positivity helps. These are the few outcomes. You get money. I told you, you don't have to be filthy rich, tons of money, loads of money sitting in the bank and Swiss bank and all that stuff, but there is money to live a decent, healthy, nourishing, prosperous life. Success is what makes you happy all the time. Above all, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing in life is peace. Positivity facilitates peace of mind. When there is no positivity, when there is no positive thinking, when there is no positive outlook, when you don't have a positive mindset, the biggest fallout is you lose your peace. And that is not a worth that's worth living for. You have to have that calmness, you have to have that peace and joy. You can see the little child's face there. It cannot see the colors on the face. It does not see what's happening to its face or anything. But look at the joy on that face. Happiness is something that you experience or choose to be in that state because of something is happening. There is a stimulus outside that causes it. But joy is within. There's no external stimulus, it's just being a state of mind. Joy and peace are something that happens within. Positive thinking is the platform, is the mantra for us to live, survive, exist thrive and grow in this world. So all's good, and cheers to all of you. Thank you very much for spending the time with me today and sharing my, letting me to share my thoughts and learnings in my years of life and experiences at work and at home and in the society. I hope this has been a little bit of benefit for all of you, and you have enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed your company today. A quick question that I see here is whether positive thinking leads to feelings of failure and depression if things not happen in a way. No. The very premise of on which a positive thought begins is that even if there is going to be a failure, I have to, I'm not just going to simply face the failure, right? I'm going to see why, what, when, how. There is a kind of rational approach that you take to that failure. For example, there is a project that's going on at workplace. It's a lot more easier for us to relate because I'm assuming that most of you are working professionals. Something goes wrong in the office. The first thing that says, who did it? A positive thinker will always look at a failure as, why did it happen? How did it happen? When did it happen? Which part of the process broke down? Well, he might probably ask who did it with an intent to understand, because the guy has experienced the failure and is part of that failure process. He will be able to give him some insights or answer these questions of why, when, how, and so forth. So if you're positive, you don't let anything affect you. You are in a state of mind, you made a choice that things will go wrong. There will be ups and downs. It's not a perfect world. So what am I depressed about? Get up, take action, fix. You have positive thinking, you're always part of a solution. You have a negative thinking, you'll always live a part of the problem. If you want to move from being a part of the problem to being a part of the solution, the best vehicle that can take you there is the positive thought. I hope I was able to answer that for you, Murugavel. Positive thinking does not ever lead to failures and depression, because positive thinking is not about having always expectations to happen, to everything to be good. Positive thinking is not having an expectation. Expectations is the cause of sorrow, depression, and all of that. But if you remove expectation and you move with a thought, a positive thought, you will not have those negative experiences or negative emotions affecting you. Why analysis usually becomes who analysis? Why does it happen so? There is this thing of fight and flight, right? And some of the science students will know it. Instinctively, when something goes wrong, and if you're a part of that environment or that system, we don't want somebody to pick us. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be questioned. It's a natural defense mechanism, right? And that's how we are wired, right from your childhood schooling. When back in the day, if somebody has thrown a paper rocket from the back of the class onto the teacher, it could be the guy sitting in the front row, but the teacher will always look at the back row and they'll say, all three of you get up and come here, and all three of you get back. So you are constantly, everybody is looking at who did it, right? Right from your formative years, you are constantly brought up in an environment where who did it? The teacher asks you the same question. Something goes wrong in the house between the siblings, mom, dad, who did it? Now, as we grow and we become adults, we start becoming adult thinking and adult learning sets in, it becomes important for us to move away from who to why. You practice this, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow morning when you go to work or when you get on your next webinar call or conference call with your team members, if there is a problem that is tabled, do not focus on the who part of it at all for a moment. Do not even focus on the why. First, try and understand what. And sometimes the moment you ask what is the problem may not exist at all. That is one of the strong traits of a positive thinker. They will first of all figure out if there is a problem in the first place and then set out to go solve it. So it's very, very important and imperative that we do a analysis, and you guys, some of you must be already be aware the fact that there is a 5 whys analysis, right? You ask a why, and then you ask a why, you ask a why, and then you ask a why, and the 5th why will give you pretty much the root cause. There is never a 5 how analysis or 5 who analysis. So it is a natural, what do you call, instinctive behavior that instead of why analysis, we go on who analysis, and by conscious practice, you can move away from it, and that can start from tomorrow morning. Well, I think I have another 2 minutes time before 6 o'clock. If there are any other questions, I would love to answer. Prasad is asking a question: how to stay positive during crunch, especially times like this? Well, Prasad, half of the problem during a natural calamity, I would say pandemic is one of those, right? There is a tsunami, there is a cyclone, there is an earthquake. It is localized, right? Pandemic is across the world, and even across the world, it has not exactly affected 7.8 billion people. So what happens is the amount of media, news, information, social media, information overload, all these things kind of put you in that fear psychosis, right? The mob psychosis. Now, you are perfectly normal. You're not so anywhere close to that particular calamity. I'm not talking about the pandemic per se. I'm talking in general. My entire topic is focused on pandemic or not, right? It could be any life situation. There is a sudden death in the family. You lose your loved ones. There is a relationship problem, and then there is these times that come in. Has anything changed in most of our lives? And there are statistics to prove that it is a high morbidity situation, right? People can get sick, but a very low mortality situation. The sickness can be really quite psychotic because you watch television, you watch people replaying again and again, you see those videos being circulated, and your mind automatically believes that you are a part of it, right? And that's when I told you those 4-5 practices, very simple things, Prasad. You just have to wake up in the morning and sit quietly for 10 minutes and wipe out everything from last night's news in those 10-15 minutes. Have a good fresh glass of water, go for a brisk walk, wear a mask, take your precautions, come back, sanitize, have a good shower, follow your morning rituals, eat well, have a good glass of water, and then move on. Don't let the noise affect you. If you hear to the noise, you will miss the silence and the beauty of it. The reason that you become a part of the problem is because you are thinking that it is happening to you. It will not happen to you, and it will happen to you based on how you take it mentally and physically, right? Now, how do you stay positive? Read a book. Keep yourself occupied with the regular day's chores of the work. Get up in the morning, do your things. Don't sit in one corner and binge watch television. Don't wake up in the morning and sit in the bed and then open the WhatsApp and start looking those videos that are circulated. Don't read those posts which are fake posts with WHO printed at the bottom. No. Read authentic information for once or twice and be done with it. And nothing is going to happen. And if something happens, your positive state of mind will. There are a lot of people who have come out of this crisis situation, right? They're in and out of the hospitals. They've been in and out of ventilators. but that doesn't get recorded in our brain because there is a study that is proven. I'll just take an extra minute if you don't mind, where negative things stick to people's mind more than the positive things. And once that happens, even if there is a positive thing that is shared, the negative thing doesn't change. They did a study in the US, and there is a governor who was shown to be bringing down the job losses by 60%, while the economy was not good in 40%. And then there is another governor, which is exactly the opposite. Now, in both the studies, I'm not going into the complete details of the study, but what I want to tell you at the end of the day is people believed that the governor who did well was worse than the governor who did not do well. Because the information that comes to you mind, the negative information that comes, the negativity sticks. And how do you get unstuck is a completely entirely different topic. Right? And that there are practices, there are methods in which we can move away from that kind of situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time, but if there is anything else that I can answer, Sindhuja is asking a question. My question is how to take care of long distance relationships, since there are a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings happening due to lack of meetings. This is an entirely different topic. Positivity is one of the ways to deal with long distance relationship management, but this is a kind of a subject which is slightly out of context here, Sindhuja, but you can connect with me and I will be able to help you outside of this forum in case you want that help. One of the things that I can quickly give you as a tip here is that whenever there is any information that's coming to you, process it, respond to anything, any stimulus, any word, any gesture, any situation, respond, don't react. Please understand the difference between these two words. The moment you react, it goes south. Always respond to a situation. The response could be no action at all sometimes. Response could be only a positive response or a response which is to discuss only the issue at hand. But if you react, it will go southwards. That's the best I can give you at this point in time. Hope I was able to give you some insight there. Respond to any kind of stimulus. Don't react to external or internal stimulus.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Vignesh, I'm done with my presentation.
Great, sir. Lovely presentation.
Sorry, Vignesh.
I was amazed at the way you were addressing the things. So I was saying you were handling the question as well. I had another question which popped by through the email. So do you want to check it out? I mean, if you think it is pertinent?
Yeah, I have time if others have time.
Yeah. So one question for you is, sometimes, different times of the year, people suddenly become very active. So for instance, people take resolutions during birthdays, New Year's, and they want to do some, probably attend the gym or be very super active, healthy, and but somewhere they're not able to keep to it. So is there any advice and input you want to give to our people so that they can take some pointers and learn from it?
Vignesh, you broke up a little. Could you just summarize that a little bit again, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I will repeat myself here. So many times of the year, people realize that they want to stay positive, healthy, happy. So when you notice, you have their birthdays or like the New Year's, people take resolutions suddenly, but after some time, it kind of fizzles out. So is there a way by which people can develop this positivity in a very sustained basis? Do you have any inputs for that, sir?
Yeah, there are two things. One is something that you have to do it yourself, right? Most of the times, like you said, we break all our new resolutions. You break our birthday resolutions. We break our anniversary resolutions because the external stimulus or external forces are so strong, and given the kind of mind and body we have, we tend to move away. And it's very difficult for us to pull back and get back onto the track of being positive and so forth. Some of the times what you might want to do is people who have the access, they can normally find a mentor, right? Mentors normally broadly help you, broadly guide you when you're kind of going wayward and when you're just losing off track. Sometimes coaching helps, right? Coaches basically they don't provide solutions, they just provide guidance. They will ask you very, what do you call, constructive questions, very thought-provoking questions, where you will find the solution yourself and you will start realizing, hey, I had lost like 17 kilos like 5 years back, and in the last 6 months I put back 5 kilos. What went wrong? Right? Somebody within the family or outside the family, sometimes within the family doesn't work very well because of the significant change in the social structure in the world around us. Sometimes an ex-outsider who knows you a little or who doesn't know you at all, those people can get you back on track. So whenever you do write your resolutions, always they prescribe. I have tried this myself and it has worked very well. I was 91 kilos and I dropped and I lost 17 kilos or 18 kilos about 6 years back, and I was the kind of example I was trying to quote there. You write your resolutions and put there and make positive affirmations every day. It works, trust me. On the refrigerator, on the mirror, in the bathroom, back door, back of the bath, wherever you think, your bedroom, in your wardrobe. Write those 4 things that you want to do. Meditate for 10 minutes, walk 15 minutes, carry a bottle of water, whatever those simple things. Over a period of time, these are habit forming. The reason people lose out on resolutions over a period of time is that when they get this external stimulus or distractions, they don't get back and look at what are those 3 habits that they have to continue doing it. It's as simple as, like I was telling you earlier in the call, it's like brushing your teeth. You can't get out of your house or office without doing those 3 things in every single day. That is one way. One is doing it yourself, putting up a sheet out there, to-do list kind of a thing, and reminder thing, and that affirmations that you want to put every day, that you want to tell yourself. 2, find a mentor or a coach who will keep guiding you and telling you and who will hold you accountable. My wife is that for me. She's my coach and I'm the coachee for her. She holds me accountable. Hey, you have not done this. It's up to you. And if you practice that over a period of time, I'm telling you, Vignesh, it's only a matter of time. It sets in. You just can't shake it off. How do we make people who always whine to see the brighter side of life? Well, Anonymous, I don't know who that person is, but I will answer the question quickly. There are some bystanders all your life. Like some people whine. And they are the people I was talking to you about the negativity thing earlier on the slide. They are the people who are negative people. Now, there are 2 things that can happen. One, you can change the person through your positivity, as I told you, or you just let them go. Right? You move away from those people. Now, you want to help them see a brighter side of life. You have to have a little bit of coaching skills, because for these people who constantly whine, if you tell them what not to do, they will do more of it. It's just a simple human psychology. Or if you tell them what is not right, they will try and argue with you that that is the way it is, that's right. So whiners are basically, they don't have a real problem. They just try to do that because they need attention or because they have some kind of a complexes. Some people might have a deep-rooted psychological issues who might need some help. But overall, if you see a general whiner at a workplace or at home or in the society or in your colony, try and make a couple of attempts to show them the brighter side. But if they continue to whine, move away, because that's going to take away your peace. We can't solve the world hunger, but if we can touch some lives along the way with your positivity and gratitude and all those few things that we discussed, please do. Otherwise, stay away. That's my little piece of advice. That's what I do personally, and I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you. Vignesh?
Sir, there is one more question on
Sure.
the chat box. I'll read it for you.
Yes.
Vinay has asked this question. I am a final and my graduation was supposed to be this year. Due to the COVID, everything is postponed for me, including my work. How to stay positive in this situation, sir?
I'm a final year student. My graduation was supposed to be this year. Due to COVID, everything is postponed for me, including my work. How to stay positive in situation, sir? Well, you are very close to my heart with that question, because my second daughter is in the 3rd year of law, and she just moved from one semester to another semester, and she doesn't know what's going to happen the next semester. Um, I'm not sure what is the exact education policy or the ministry guideline on graduating the final year students. Things got postponed. The one advice that I would give you, Vinay, is life is a learning process, right? There will be ups and downs, and this is the most unexpected thing that none of us would ever expected that we will see in our lifetimes, right? And if you're younger, then I can relate to your situation a lot better, because I've got two daughters at home who exactly go through the same thing. The best way to is to keep yourself occupied. Do an extra course, do an additional course. There are a ton of courses out there that like 300, 400, 500 rupees. Don't look at certifications. Don't look at a piece of paper. Look for learning. Don't look to study. Studying and learning are two different things, right? Studying is gaining knowledge, academic and stuff like that. Learn some skills. Now, what happens with that? One, you're becoming positive. Two, you're picking up a new skill, new learning, new perspective, new knowledge. Three, you're keeping yourself occupied very well during those periods because it's postponed. Four, when you get back, when things get back to normal, you are a different person with a lot more resourcefulness, enriched life, a lot more learnings that you can be proud of. And some of these things which you pick up during these times when things are at a low ebb can come handy, right? You go back to the college and you get your graduation certificate or whatever it is when time comes next December, November, January, whenever it is. You go for a placement interview or you go and apply for the next postgraduate program and tell them, hey, you know what? How did I'm sure most of the organizations and institutions will ask you that question. How did you spend the last 8 months during the lockdown period? And if you tell that these are the 3 skills I learned related to my graduation program or relating to my master's program, which I'm pursuing to get an admission into, and I picked up some skills which makes me ready to pursue this program, you are a hotcake. Entirely different situation where you can have a glass of wine, watch till Netflix, and sleep at 11 in the morning. But that's not the solution that's going to stand in good stead for you. Do something, acquire a new skill related to what you're doing now and what you plan to do in the future. Use it productively. If you don't have enough resources and financial resources to fund, there are a lot of free resources available, a ton of stuff available out there. When I make sure that this is the biggest, longest productive holiday that you'll ever get in your life again. Just grab it and use it to the best of your knowledge, to the best of your advantage. I hope that helps.
Absolutely, sir. Looks like there's another question as well. Would you want to take it up? I'll read it for you.
Sure.
Your insights and suggestions for HR professionals on how to keep their employees engaged during the work from home, which is the current new normal, and stay optimistic for the future.
Well, Raja, if you're a HR professional or not, for all HR professionals, here is what I would advise. First of all, HR professionals or L&D professionals, there is a huge opportunity now that I have been in this world of learning and development, speaking and coaching and training for almost like about 8-10 months now. That is a highly, what do you call, stereotypic kind of function it has become. So HR professionals first have to learn certain new skills. Pardon me, I'm not trying to prescribe anything here. I'm just giving my thought loudly, and this is what I've been talking to L&D heads and HR professionals in the world I'm connected with in the LinkedIn. I tell them that if you want to keep your employees motivated, you need to be motivated. 1. 2, you need to learn new skills in the new normal of how to keep employees motivated. Here is one of those examples I can give you. One of the stuff that you can do is online gamification. It's a fantastic technique, right? You can get your employees in the real world when nothing happened before the pandemic. How do you keep your employees engaged? You used to do team building activities, you used to have experiential learning, you used to have leaders coming and talking to them. Replicate this in the virtual world. And there are tools and technologies available today that can facilitate this kind of games, online games, facilitate communicating with those employees on every single day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening, through a micro learning module, right? And there are specific methods and techniques, and we don't have time here, but HR professionals have to research and learn and pick up new skills to keep employee engagement going, implement it, and these things does not cost money. If you go and buy like 5,000 rupees Lego set and then try to do a gamification, well, good luck if you have got the resources. But there are a lot of games and methods which are completely, absolutely free available on the net, which you can keep your employees engaged. We know budgets are under constraint. Nobody will give you L&D budgets. People are going to cut short on those kind of infusing those resources. But HR professionals have to first learn how to start thinking innovatively and make sure that they're leveraging the virtual technology platforms to keep their employees engaged. Some of the companies are doing phenomenally well. I'm personally aware of. Their employee turnover has significantly reduced, while it was almost 2 to 3 times higher during the pre-COVID times. They're able to retain their employees despite all the uncertainties because they are engaging and keeping their employees in extremely innovative ways. So skill enhancements of the HR and L&D professionals is the first thing. Innovative methods to keep their employees which are available online free of cost. If you have the little money, go invest and make sure that you are using those gamification, micro-learning modules, and all kind of technology-based stuff to keep them happy. They can work from home and they can keep them. There are some companies which are doing a wellness program that organize yoga in the morning. They connect all of those 30-40 employees on Zoom, and there is a yoga person who is a yoga practitioner in the employees. He does yoga for all the 34 people. Very interesting. I personally saw it myself. I hope that helps, Raja. Optimism is a state of mind. Again, it's a positive outlook. It's going to go back to normal. Trust me, it's not going to be this way. It's going to be this way for a while, but trust me, 1920 Spanish flu is gone. 100 years have passed by. So we have to be optimistic about the future, unless otherwise we have another choice that will keep us happy, which I don't see. Optimism and positive thinking will keep us in good stead. Any other questions out there? Thank you, Raj. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your lovely positive and vibration session. Excellent session. Thank you, Anonymous and Vinay. Thank you. Thanks for your acknowledgement. Raj, thank you. Yes, I'm here to provide as best response that I can think of. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.